My child, I have drawn you here deliberately. This moment is not accidental, nor is your attention captured by chance. You did not wander into this space. I guided you. I bent time gently, rearranged your steps, and allowed this pause to exist so that you could hear what your spirit has been sensing all along. Long before you arrived here, I marked this exact moment. Long before your questions formed words, I already prepared the answer that would meet you now. I interrupted your routine on purpose. I stepped into the ordinary flow of your day, into the rhythm you had grown used to, not to disrupt you but to realign you. There are moments when I allow life to move quietly forward, and there are moments, like this one, when I draw you aside. Not because you have failed, not because you have fallen behind, but because something essential must be revealed before you take another step. This is one of those moments. A profound transformation has begun. Not someday. Not in a distant season you cannot yet reach. It is unfolding now in these very hours beginning today. The shift you have felt stirring within you was not imagination. It was recognition. It was your spirit responding to timing that had finally aligned. This period was set aside for you. It was written into the fabric of your journey that this exact stretch of time would carry unusual weight. Where my perfect timing meets your unique path, things accelerate, not outwardly at first, but inwardly, invisibly, decisively. You may not yet see all the evidence, but you have felt the pressure change. You have sensed the atmosphere shift. You have noticed a quiet urgency paired with an unexpected peace. That is because something momentous is near. You felt it, didn't you? That deep stirring that came without explanation. The sense that something was about to turn. The awareness that the heaviness you've been carrying was no longer permanent. Even in silence, even in fatigue, something inside you whispered, "This is not the end." That whisper did not come from you alone. It was my voice echoing within you, preparing you for what is already in motion. Hear this clearly, my child. I have already proclaimed my victory. The struggle you think is still undecided has already been addressed. The opposition you fear has already been answered. What was meant to obstruct you, to slow you, to weaken you, I have taken and reshaped. What once pressed against you has been converted into support. What threatened to crush you has become a foundation beneath your feet. My joy rings out in absolute victory. Not tentative joy. Not hopefulness. Not relief. This is the joy of certainty. The joy that comes from knowing the outcome before it appears. The joy that announces, "It is settled." And that joy signifies this truth: your breakthrough has already begun. You may think nothing significant happened today. You may replay the hours and see only small choices, ordinary moments, quiet decisions that no one else noticed. But what seemed minor to you carried immense weight to me. What looked like a whisper echoed like thunder in my presence. What felt fragile released power. It reached me and I celebrated. That echo was not small. It was a proclamation. It declared victory in a realm you cannot see yet feel the effects of. It signaled that carefully laid schemes dissolved the moment you chose to keep going. It announced that your path forward remains secure, even if your eyes have not yet caught up to the truth. Understand this, my beloved child. My perspective is not bound by the world's measurements. Where you see frailty, I see endurance forged under pressure. Where you see a humble beginning, I see the outline of something vast. Where you offer a whispered plea, unsure and trembling, I see a conviction strong enough to move mountains. You judge moments by visibility. I judge them by truth. A hidden act of righteousness can influence generations. A choice made in secret can redirect history. A single moment of obedience, offered without applause, can shift outcomes far beyond your lifetime. That is why my heart rejoiced over you today. You did more than survive another day. You stood firm when collapse seemed inevitable. You spoke when silence felt safer. You pressed onward when fear insisted you stop. That decision, made while you felt weak, uncertain, and unsteady, brought me profound delight. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Not because it was loud, but because it was faithful. Your continued presence itself is a testimony. The adversary crafted a deliberate design against you. It was calculated. It was patient. It was meant to quiet your prayers, bury your hope, and convince you that I had turned away. That design relied on exhaustion. It relied on repetition. It relied on you believing that nothing you did mattered anymore. Yet here you are, breathing, seeking, listening. That alone is victory. Every breath you draw declares something into the unseen. The scheme against me has failed. Each dawn you witness, each moment you choose trust, even when it trembles, marks another defeat for what opposed you. My heart delights not because you never struggle, but because you remain. Your life is not random survival, my precious one. It is evidence. It is proof that my hand still holds you. And if the adversary could not remove you yesterday, consider what that means for tomorrow. Imagine his unease knowing what I am preparing to release through you next. This is why you must never underestimate seemingly small acts of obedience. The world values spectacle. I value substance. The world applauds what is seen. I honor what is hidden. I celebrate the quiet prayer whispered when no one was watching. The forgiveness extended without witnesses. The sacrifice that cost you deeply and earned you nothing in return. Every unseen act is recorded. Every one weakens darkness. Every one carries weight far beyond the moment it was given. I have already responded. My joy has already resounded. And that joy is not passive. It is active power. It is decree. It is movement. When I rejoice, I am not reacting, I am announcing. That sound shifts currents. It alters outcomes. It declares that the struggle you fear is already decided. If you could see what changed in the unseen realm today, you would never doubt again. What you perceived as ordinary carried extraordinary significance. What you dismissed as a murmur became a declaration in my presence. The strategy meant to overwhelm you unraveled quietly, completely, without fanfare. This is the beginning. The momentum has shifted. The current has turned. My favor is moving toward you with intention. The adversary studied your patterns. He anticipated your responses. He relied on your weariness. But today you broke the cycle. You did something unexpected. You gave when you had little left. You stood when collapse was expected. You spoke when silence felt safer. That single deviation overturned everything. This is why I rejoiced, because I saw what the adversary never anticipated. And this, my child, is only the penning movement. My beloved, understand this clearly. I do not wait for grand displays. I am not moved by noise. I am not persuaded by spectacle. I do not measure worth by visibility or applause. I respond to trust. I respond to purity of intention. I respond to truth spoken quietly, carried faithfully, and lived consistently, even when no one else is watching. A single sincere affirmation offered in private carries more authority than a multitude of hollow declarations shouted publicly. One moment of inner honesty holds more power than 100 performances. This is the nature of my kingdom. Depth outweighs display. Substance outlasts sound. And today you show depth. You may feel overlooked. You may believe you are merely enduring, simply getting through the days one breath at a time. But hear me, enduring is not insignificant. Enduring is testimony. Enduring is resistance. Enduring is strength refined by pressure. Every breath you take says, I remain. Every step you make whispers, the design against me has failed. Your persistence draws me closer, and I celebrate your unwavering spirit. What was meant to destroy you has already been defeated. That alone turns your journey into a continual declaration of victory. Yet I am proclaiming more than survival over you now. This season is no longer only about holding on. It is about moving forward. When my joy rings out, it is not merely happiness. It is signal. It is announcement. It means the way before you is opening to bring forth what you have long sought. And it all began with your quiet affirmation today, your simple, unembellished yes. My joy is not casual delight. It is holy triumph. It is wisdom spoken without words. It is a decree that carries motion. When I rejoice, unseen realms respond. Structures shift. Resistance weakens. The atmosphere around your life changes. My gladness today confirms that your story has entered a new phase. My precious one, you often underestimate your persistence. You call it weakness. You label it barely enough. You compare it to what you believe strength should look like. But I call it testimony. Each breath you draw defies darkness. Each morning you rise declares endurance. You outlasted storms meant to bury you. You walked through nights designed to break you. Yet here you are, alive, seeking, listening. Do not call that small. I call it victory. Every dawn you greet sends a message into realms you cannot see. The scheme has failed again. And the one who opposed you knows it. He knows that if he could not stop you then, he cannot stop what is coming now. Grasp this essential truth, my child. I celebrate the first step, not only the finish. The world rewards outcomes. I rejoice in obedience. The world applauds arrival. I honor movement. That fragile step you took carried immense force. I rejoice because I already know how far it will take you. People praise what they can measure. I treasure what is hidden. A sacrifice no one noticed can unlock abundance. A faithful choice unseen by others can release provision that lasts for generations. Do not undervalue what remains hidden, for I magnify what the world overlooks. What seemed minor to you has already shifted unseen realities. What felt ordinary has altered trajectories. What you dismissed as small has changed what was concealed. My deep contentment reveals something important. A chapter has closed. The difficulties you wrestled with have reached their limit. The opposition you feared has lost its leverage. The one who studied your habits, who expected you to repeat old patterns, miscalculated. He assumed you would hesitate. He expected you to remain silent. He was certain you would respond as before. But you chose differently. You found strength when challenged. You showed kindness when drained. You held truth when doubt pressed hard. That choice altered everything. The adversary was confident in his plan, but your unexpected response dismantled it completely. I rejoice because I saw what he could not foresee. And this changes how you now walk through life. When my joy rests upon you, insecurity loses its hold. You no longer depend on others to validate your worth. You stop measuring your journey against someone else's path. Instead, you move with quiet confidence. My joy brings assurance. It tells you, you are exactly where you need to be. It tells you I see you. It tells you, your steps align with my highest intention. Often, rapid advancement follows my joyful declaration. Where you once merely persevered, you will now thrive. The ground beneath you is shifting. Old struggles will begin to yield joy. What felt lost will reappear. What seemed dormant will awaken. My joy always has a reason. It means a profound shift is not approaching. It is already underway. Remember the long nights, my precious one. The unanswered questions. The stillness that felt heavy. Those moments were not empty. They were preparation. They were being held, reserved for this very time. My joy is the gentle power that releases what was stored. It is my way of saying, this is the appointed moment. Never forget this truth. Your willingness to follow my guidance affects more lives than you realize. I show my gladness because I see the reach of your loyalty. Your life carries meaning far beyond what you currently understand. That is why you must quiet the voice of doubt. That is why you must stop diminishing your progress. My pleasure confirms you are advancing. Lift your eyes, my child. My joyful sound surrounds you like a shield. Let it calm anxious thoughts. Let it silence lies of insufficiency. Let it assure you with every step that victory has already been announced for your good. This gladness is not the end of your journey.